Hey everyone, I'm Arinjay and this is the Flow Forward. This is lesson 2 in which we'll be talking about the basics of fresh water in rivers, the food chain, and how humans are dependent on rivers. So let's begin the video.
So when we think about rivers in cities like Pune, what makes them so important? I mean, they're just like water bodies, right?
Well, they're a lot more than that. These rivers carry fresh water, which means it's not salty like ocean water. Fresh water is essential. It's what we drink, use for farming, and what many plants and animals depend on. Pune has five main rivers: Mua, Mutha, Ram Nadi, Dev Nadi, and Pavna. They all meet in and around the city, shaping its geography and ecology. Without them, Pune's ecosystem and water supply would collapse.
Oh, all right. So rivers aren't just flowing water, they're actually full ecosystems. Um, can you break this down and help me understand this?
Sure, a river ecosystem includes both living things like fish, birds, and non-living parts like the water, soil, sunlight, and oxygen. It's a connected system. For example, if pollution enters the river and kills off small fish or insects, it can actually affect birds and animals further up the chain. It's all interconnected.
I've heard the area where Ramnadi meets the Mulla River is a good example of that. So, what's special about it?
Well, that's a biologically rich zone, a confluence that supports a variety of life. You'll find native riparian trees like vayuns and panzambhar and shrubs like kitmira. There are small fish, tadpoles, and even spotted owlets and flying foxes. One highlight used to be the Deccan mussel, a large freshwater fish that's now gone, most likely because of pollution and loss of habitat. This shows how fragile these ecosystems can be. Nevertheless, the area still hosts about 80 plant species, 70% of which are actually native. Well, you know what's actually fascinating? The biodiversity on Earth. It's like nature's biggest team project.
Very true. Every plant and animal plays a role. Without biodiversity, ecosystems would collapse. Have you ever thought about all of them stay connected?
Maybe through their food habits?
Absolutely. They're all connected to the food chain. A food chain shows the direct line of who eats whom in an ecosystem. It usually has four levels, like we have the producers like algae or plants that make food using sunlight. We have the primary consumers like the herbivores like tadpoles or small fish. Then we have the secondary consumers like carnivores or omnivores like bigger fish or dragonfly larvae. So, and then we have the tertiary consumers like the apex predators like mahseed or birds such as egrets.
That seems pretty simple. Surely it isn't so organized in real life, is it?
In reality, animals have many food options. That's why we have food webs. They show multiple connected food chains. It's like a messy but realistic version of who eats whom.
Oh, I understand. But then I've heard about ecological pyramids. What are they?
So, ecological pyramids show how energy and organisms are arranged at different levels of a food chain. They're usually of two types. We have the pyramid of numbers that shows the number of organisms at each level, and we have the pyramid of biomass that shows the amount of living material. So, the pyramid of biomass is used when the base is like one big organism, for example, a tree. And remember, as energy moves up the chain, some of it is lost at every step. So the very top predators get the least amount of energy.
Oh, wow. So biodiversity isn't just about variety, but it's about keeping all of these ecological connections alive.
Yeah, we talk so much about conservation and saving nature, but how are we actually connected to the nature?
So you've raised a great point. Let's now talk about ecological interdependence. So ecological interdependence means that all living things are connected and they rely on each other to survive. To give you an example, we need trees and oxygen we need trees for oxygen and shade, and maybe birds and pets around us give us comfort. And talking about rivers, rivers provide us with water, they provide birds with habitats, and among other things. And this goes both ways. If we pollute rivers or remove a species, this can create a chain reaction, like falling dominoes, and this whole balance of nature and ecology is disturbed.
Okay, but what happens if that balance is disturbed? Like, what's the big deal if one species disappears or some trash ends up in a river?
Yeah, I mean, nature is strong, right? It should be able to recover.
Well, this brings us to how our like human activities affect rivers and ecosystems. To answer your questions, nature can bounce back, but that's only if we don't push it too far. If we dump garbage and sewage in rivers or release toxic chemicals from factories or let invasive plant species like water hyacinth grow uncontrollably, we are harming nature and indirectly we're harming us too. These things that I mentioned can affect nature adversely by blocking sunlight to marine species, reducing oxygen in the water, killing off fish and plants, and even breaking entire food chains and webs that Swara explained. And when these ecosystems collapse, we humans suffer too. Fishermen lose their livelihoods. People fall sick and get diseases from polluted water, and biodiversity is completely lost forever.
Okay, thank you.